Statue of Cernunnos. It was given to me as a Christmas present. Cernunnos. This is Artemisa. Okay. Just to show you some of the herbs that I have in my house during the winter here in Massachusetts. And the video is about books on magical herbs. And I'm going to leave the name and the author of each book down below on the description. So if you're interested in any of those books, just check it out. This is aguacate, jengibre, oregano brujo. Over here we got some malagueta. Over there is Osain. Now, a lot of my herbs, I like to save the seeds for winter uses. My seeds and my herbs. Seeds I will use to, harvest more plants. But here we have some albahaca seeds. You see I place them in bags. We got some patchouli. Menta, which grows everywhere, so yarrow, milanrama, yarrow, mejorana. These are the seeds, so that I can, these are the seeds of yarrow. What else do I got here? I think this is epazote. Thinking that's epazote. And then we got some herbs here. You can see that I also jar many of my herbs that I grow. I place them into elixirs. There's some ruda in here. I love a lot of ruda. Right here we have salvia, sage, lavanda, lavender, and some wormswood. So here are the seeds, and then I save them every year, and then I just replant them, and then I get new herbs, so they can last me through the winter season. But then I get new herbs every year. I'm gonna need some other herbs that I don't see. I don't have any here. Anyways, so the books that I'm gonna mention below is gonna be in this description. All the books that I mentioned down below. Honor and respect. This is Sancista Brujo Luis. I haven't done a video of myself in a while, so I'm gonna do a video on some herb book reviews that I recommend. Here in Massachusetts, we're at the end of January. Some days are snowing, some days are sunny. I am getting a spring fever, so get your cafecito, your coffee. I'm drinking my coffee in my Superman cup, because Superman is the greatest immigrante ever. He came from another planet and he conquered this world. So get your cafecito, chill with me for a little bit, and enjoy it. I'm going to show you some books that I enjoy, I like to read, so mostly on herbs, okay? I have a lot of books. I wanted to make this more on magical herbs more than on healing herbs, but they both go hand in hand. So I'm going to do this video, and I hope you enjoy this very much. So the books that I chose today to show you are more on magical uses of herbs, how to use herbs in magic more so than healing, okay? I do have books on healing, on how to use herbs in healing, but these are more books that I recommend on magic. I'm going to go from the easiest all the way to the most complicated. Okay, so again, I'm having my cafecito. Get your cafecito, Superman. You can't go wrong with Superman, Batman, or Wonder Woman, can you? So anyways, I'm gonna have my cafecito. I'm gonna start with my first book. I'm just gonna say the title, then I'll show you the name of the author, because I don't want to butcher anybody's name. But the first book, and I'm going from easy to hardest. This one was recommended to me by another YouTuber. Her name is Murphy Gravehunter, and she is a Native American bruja. I thought she was Mexican, but she's a Native American bruja, and she has a channel here on YouTube. She recommended this book, and it's called, I don't know if you can see it because of the light, but it's kind of like a child's book. It's called The Poison Diaries. And I'm going to try to see if you can see the name of the author. This one was recommended to me by Murphy Gravehunter. Like I said, I'm going to leave a link down below. It's a beautiful book. I'm going to feel like, you see the book comes like in this protective plastic, and it's got that warning sign, because remember, these are poisonous herbs. I'm going to probably name this video The Poison Diaries and other books on herbs, who knows. But anyways, I'm just going to show you what the book looks like inside. It is a really beautiful book. I enjoy it. I feel like a school teacher doing it this way. I don't know if you can see the pictures. Okay, so let me just go through some of my, my book came with a letter that they wanted this book back. Okay, I'm not going to open the letter, but I read the letter. It was pretty interesting. Get it. I really recommend it. If you like children's stories, this is not really for children, but I would recommend it. The book is written in a diary form, and it is written by Weed. Weed in Spanish is mala hierba. Okay, so it's written about weed. And his, it's like a diary. If you can see the font that they chose, it is like a diary. And in his life in a garden full of poisonous herbs. Okay? I'm going to show you all the pictures, but there are some beautiful, beautiful, look at this one. Belladonna, Belladonna. Belladonna. We all, whoever has watched Practical Magic, I'm sure you've heard of Belladonna. Okay, beautiful picture. It gives you its scientific name, what it's used for. I mean, the pictures are really, really nice. So weed in this book, it shows how many ways people die from using herbs, poisonous herbs. Within this garden. Weed falls in love with marigold. And sadly to say, I don't want to really spoil, you can see right there, marigold giving weed a nice little kiss. I don't want to spoil the story too much, but marigold does die. And I'm not going to go too, this is castor. I don't know if you can see that. Castor. I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I like in the book. Okay. I got this on eBay. Really cheap. You can get it on Amazon.com. A lot of people ask me, where do you get your books? This is Lords and Ladies. Okay. Here's another picture of Lords and Ladies. I'm not going to show you too much. But I really, really, really like this book. We all know this herb. This is one herb that I mess with too much. Nicotina. Nicotina. Could be very deadly if you disrespect her. The Taínos called Nicotina tabacu. Tabacu. Okay? It was a spirit for the Taíno people of the Caribbean. And they named it tabacu, which is where we get the word tobacco. Nicotina. Let me see what else we have here. And we can't have a poisonous book without mandraga. Mandraga is mandrake. Mandrake. So I like this book a lot. I read it. Not something I would read to my children or to any little child. And you can see why. It's very nostalgic. If you liked, I think this is Hemlock. If you read children's book when you were little, I've always read. This is Hemlock. If you like a little bit of nostalgic and books like that, you will definitely enjoy this book. I'm just going to show you one last picture. This is ergot. Ergot, here it was believed that many of the Salem witches, or the girls that practiced witchcraft, the convulsions they believe were started with ergot being mixed into their bread. Now, there's no proof on that, but that's just one theory on it. And vomica. Vomica. So I definitely recommend this book. But again, it's not something that you want to read for children, because I'm going to show you the last picture of this book. Actually, it could be a little violent, but it is a really nice book if you enjoyed. Look at that picture. This is how Mala Yelba, how weed gets his vengeance at the end. Very nice book. I recommend it. So again, it is titled, trying to get not to get the Poison. I'll do it this way. The Poison Diaries. And I definitely recommend this book. You can probably pick it up at Amazon.com or eBay. It's got this glossy plastic protector. You can see that. I recommend this book. Okay, so now, as I said, I'm just showing you some herbal books on magic. I've got many books on how to do, different things on herbs, but I chose more books on how to use them in magic. Now, we all know this book. It's called the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs by Scott Cunningham. A lot of people think this is very Wicca, but I think it's very a good book, and I recommend it because, especially for people who are learning or starting off in herbs, this is one book that you just can't go wrong with. Okay, what I like about this book, and I always recommend it, is that it's got pictures of all the herbs throughout the book. Scott Cunningham was a Wiccan priest, and you can see it's got pictures throughout the book. And as a beginner's book, I definitely recommend this book for anybody who wants to learn how to work herbs in their magic or in their spirituality. It gives you their planetary rule, what it's used for. Okay, there's a fire engine passing by my house. Sounds like a fire engine. Sorry about that. But it's got a lot of pictures throughout the book. The next book, this is more Wicca, but anyone who wants to learn about spirituality. I'm not a Wiccan, okay? I'm a brujo. I'm a traditional Latino witch, ensancista and espiritista. But anyways, anyone who wants to learn basics about herbs, I would definitely recommend the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs as a beginner book. Okay, a lot of people might think, oh he must know like a billion herbs. Actually, I don't. There's like 22 that I really use generally on a daily basis, and then every year I try to learn something new. And then most of the herbs, like I said, I use fresh herbs. I have some herbs inside my house, and most of the other herbs, if I need any herbs, I have them imported from Puerto Rico, already packaged, make sure they're fresh, or what I can get in an Asian market or Brazilian market or Hispanic market, I get dried or whatever. But I personally grow around 22 herbs that I use every day for my spiritual work. Okay. The next book that I want to recommend is by a Puerto Rican author. I think he's a Santero, and it is titled Osain. Okay, and it's 221 plants, herbs in the Santeria tradition. He's a Puerto Rican author. You can see the name right there. This is the back of the book. What I like about this book, I mean, there is some misprints and some wrong, but what I like about it is that all the herbs, it's just basic. It's very basic. It has pictures. It has a Spanish name, the English name, and what Orisha it is sacred to. Okay, so, I mean, you can just go through the whole book and you can see pictures of just herbs throughout the book. There are 221 herbs mentioned in this book, and I think these pictures were taken in Puerto Rico and probably throughout the Caribbean and maybe in Florida where they grow. Okay, because these herbs are more Caribbean. I definitely will not find them here in Massachusetts or in New England. Okay, but it gives you the Spanish name, the English name. It doesn't give you a magical how to use them, but it gives you a nice picture so that you can recognize them if you're in nature. If you can find this book, I definitely recommend it. It is titled Osain, Ewe in the Yoruba language means herbs. Osain is the Orisha, the spiritual force that rules and governs over herbs. 221 herbs, and like I said, there's even some, is this in Spanish or in English? I don't know, but there's some lámparas, lamps, how to make lamps, and obras. It's got some obras. Obras are like spiritual workings, in the Spanish name for it. So, yeah, it's in English. It's in English. It's got some prayers to some of the Orisha. The Orisha are the spiritual, the highly elevated spirits within the Lucumi, Candomblé traditions. So, Ewe Osain. This is by a Puerto Rican author. I highly recommend this book. I recommend it only because of the pictures. It's got a lot of great pictures, and then you can understand what herb is sacred to what Orisha. Another book that I recommend, and anyone who practices Hoodoo, so far I've given you a book on how herbs are used in Wicca, how herbs are used in Santeria or Afro-Caribbean traditions. This is Hoodoo, herb and root magic, of the southern Hoodoo tradition. Everyone who practices Hoodoo, I'm sure, has this book, knows this book. I recommend it. It's got pictures throughout the book, and here's the name of the author. They're by Lucky Mojo, which is a good internet resource on American folk, Afro-American folk magic, Hoodoo. Okay, it shows you how to use herbs and powders, and there's an interesting picture right there, which I use when I'm crossing individuals. But it shows you how to use various different herbs in Hoodoo, or how it would be used in Hoodoo. And like I said, it's got pictures throughout the book. Their magical properties, what would they be good for, what would you use them for. So I definitely would recommend, if you are interested in Hoodoo, and everyone who practices Hoodoo, I'm sure, owns this book. So I definitely recommend this book. So the next book that I want to recommend, not that long ago, I got an email by an author. Her name is, she's a friend of mine, Judica Iles, or Judica Iles. I'm probably saying it in Spanish, but sorry, Judica. She's the author of the Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells and the Encyclopedia of Witchcraft. She contacted me because a certain shaman was looking to interview witches, brujos, in the New England area. So I will be in this person's next book on witches and brujos and shamans, in I guess in Massachusetts or in the New England area. But her name is Evert Hopman. Okay, I was just interviewed by her for her next book. I really recommend this book. This is a really beautiful book. Okay, Secret Medicines from the Garden, Plants for Healing, Spirituality, and Magic. Okay, what I like about this book, I think this is the one. Yes, it's got colored pictures throughout the book. Now it does have some recipes. I don't necessarily follow recipes. I'm Hispanic. Hispanics, we just throw everything in a pot and then we pray to God it comes out good. But it got some recipes, but it also has some magical. I like the pictures in the book. So Evert Hopman, she just interviewed, like I said, she interviewed me for her upcoming book on witches in Massachusetts, or I think it's Witches in New England, and I'll be featured in that book. And I'll let you know when it comes out. I'll probably do a review on that book. But you can see throughout the book, it has beautiful, I'm trying to get it centered, but you can see throughout the book, it has beautiful colored pictures and just ways in which herbs are used historically in magic. Okay, a lot of witches had their wisdom was, their herbs, It is believed, my grandmother used to say, a man's strength is his fist, is the size of his gun. A woman's strength is her knowledge of herbs. Okay? So something my abuela would say, abuela's grandmother would say, I'm probably butchering it the way she says it in Spanish, but you can see it's got a lot of pictures of herbs. So again, the secret medicines from your garden, I definitely recommend it. And like I said, I'm going to probably say it third time. Being interviewed, I was interviewed for her next book on witches in New England. And I'll let you know when that book comes out. Most of her books have gotten 5 stars, great ratings. And so I definitely recommend this book. The next book is one of my favorite authors ever. Actually, he's the first author that I read on witchcraft when I was a young kid. And I found this book in not this one, but the one that I was talking about. I found his book on witchcraft in the library. And I was a kid, and I jacked it. I stole it. I don't tell people to steal, okay? But this is called Mastering Herbalism, a practical guide by Paul Huson. Love Paul Huson. Love this man. I love all his books. A lot of people like them. A lot of people dislike them. But I definitely recommend it. Shows you really the planetary gods and their sacred herbs. What herbs are sacred to some planetary gods. Okay. Let's see what else is in this book. It's got recipes, but throughout the picture, it's got some conjuros, incantations, encantos. It's got some conjurings, some seals, not a lot of beautiful pictures. I'm trying to find one that's really, really good. It's got some recipes, how to, I guess, bless herbs and stuff like that. I recommend it. I don't really use the recipe sections of the books. I'm just not into that. But like you can see, there's drawings throughout the book. Any book by Paul Huson, I definitely recommend. Everybody check it out, pick it up. Let me see what else is interesting. I mean, the book is pretty good. I think this book is older than me, or around my age or so. But I'm surprised I haven't seen a picture of a mandrake root anywhere in any of these books, which I'm kind of like shocked about, because mandrake is the quintessential herb of brujos, witches. Mandraga and ruda. You can see what planetary the herbs and what planetary deity or spirit governs. So definitely recommend this book in your collection. Okay, so the next book that I'm going to recommend, and I'm almost at the ending of it, it's Witchcraft Medicine, Healing Arts, Shamanic Practices, and Forbidden Plants. This was a gift to me by my friend Terry. You see, it's well read. It goes into the history of how herbs are used in various practices of shamanism, Asia, Europe, Africa, mostly European. It's got some color pictures. I think that's the picture of the goddess, or an image of the goddess, but it's got really beautiful pictures, colored pictures throughout the book. Let me see if I can get one of these herbs. If you can see that. Hopefully you don't get the glare. But again, it's got mostly history of herbs and how they were used in various cultures, shamanic cultures, witchcraft cultures throughout the book. There's an image of Cernunos on top. I'm going to say that's Morgan Le Fay, not sure, on the cover, and the author is right here. I'm not going to say the name of the author because I'll probably butcher it, and I'm not going to butcher anybody's name. Witchcraft Medicine, The Legacy of Hecate. So, I mean, I've got a lot of, it's got, like I said, it's got throughout the book a lot of beautiful pictures. She chose a lot of beautiful pictures, and a lot of thought went into creating this book. There's one picture that I really love in this book. Not this one, but I'm going to look for it. Hopefully I can get to show you it. Let me see if I can find it. This one right here. We all know this picture right here. Hopefully the glare is going to get it. But I definitely recommend this book for anybody who's into herbs or wants to learn herbs. It's got pictures throughout the book and how it's been used for healing and magic before prehistoric time. So I definitely recommend this book right here. Witchcraft Medicine, Healing Arts, Shamanic Practices, and Forbidden Plants. The last book that I'm going to show you is not really a book on herbs, but it's a book that I picked up in the early 80s. I was a kid, okay? And I picked it up. I think this is my second book on witchcraft, but I wanted to show you because my first book was the book by Paul Huson. But this is the second book that I ever bought on witchcraft, and it's something that I've always held with me. It's called Good Magic, okay? And it's by Marina, Medici. You could probably pick this up in eBay. There's a lot of books on witchcraft today, and most of them are crap and junk. This doesn't really talk about religion as more so as it talks more about just witchcraft. And it shows you throughout the book. It's got, I wish more books like this were written today. This book came out in 1986. If you can find it today, I definitely recommend you look for it. Check out eBay. You could probably pick it up in eBay. I'm not sure if you can pick it up in Amazon.com. But the reason why I'm adding this book to the herbs, to this book, video on herbs, is this section right here. In your magic garden. And I'm just gonna, it just basic introduction on herbs and how herbs are used. Again, most of them, history of herbs. You can see the book throughout. Every page has an illustration. Every page has a picture. So I definitely, if you can pick up this book, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, throughout the book, it's got beautiful images, beautiful pictures. Let me see how I'm gonna end this video. Seeds. Spring, I love to plant. I love to toil with the earth. I love the smell of fresh earth. I love the smell of herbs, and I like to gather them, harvest them at the end of fall, you know what I'm saying? And I use them throughout the winter for my clients, for my spiritual work, for magical baths and stuff like that, Very rare that I give anybody anything to drink unless it comes from a box. It's better to practice safety. And I'm just gonna close this book. Let's see, with this picture right here. La Mandraga, Mandrake. So yeah, we'll show you one last time because I love that picture. Beautiful picture of Mandrake. So definitely I recommend this book. It's not generally necessarily about herbs completely, but it's got a nice section on herbs. There's a section on flower, how to use flowers in your magic or in your spirituality, different types of flowers. And like I said, there's color pictures throughout the book. And who doesn't like a book with pictures? I think that's lavender. Am I right? I'm assuming this is lavender, but I have my glasses on. So definitely recommend this book if you like books with pictures. It's called Good Magic. This book came out in 1986, and I've had it with me ever since, and I highly recommend it if you want to learn how to use herbal tinctures and infusions, and the whole book is not about herbs completely. There's a section on crystals, section on divination, the enchanted world. Pretty much I'm showing you the whole book. There's a section on divination, small section, but I mean, just for the illustrations or the pictures themselves, it is just a beautiful book, and I highly recommend it. I've had this book with me, wow, 1986, 87, long time. It's not generally a book on herbs, but you know, witchcraft and magic is not witchcraft or magic without some knowledge of the plant life and respect for the Mother Earth and nature, and understanding times and all that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a quick flip through my books, some of the books that I would definitely recommend on herb magic. This also got some spells. Basic introduction spells, you know, nothing complex. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is just herbs. I mean, I got books on healing herbs, but I wanted to choose books more on how to use herbs in magic. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed. Leave a comment down below what type of videos would you like to see in the future. And again, I hope you enjoyed this video very much. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Anyways, this is Salsista Brujo Luis. Santo Sanse. Much respects.